screwing me up, Kathy.
Oh, we are. Are we on?
Kathy, we live on, girl.
Oh, good night.
We never turn off, Kathy.
I just set myself up for that one. No, that was from a video last night about today's show.
Hey, what's our title, by the way, today?
Oh, we are live now.
We're live. What's our title today, Chuck? What
well,
you put
I
down? Chuck, help! I'm being attacked by the
breaking
Chuck!
things?
Hello and welcome to JP, Kathy, and the crew. We will be starting shortly. JP, what did you do? See, that happened to me the other day.
I broke it.
No, it just comes loose.
It's the zombie microphone apocalypse. Chuck, what happened? Chuck.
And Randy and Mary Travis, who are absolutely as professional as they come, will be so pleased that this is how the show opens today.
It came off. All I did was move it, and it came off. I don't think it'll reach down there. No, the cord doesn't Chuck.
Oh no!
Here we go. I'll just do this.
Yeah, just like you don't have to. It doesn't matter. You can attach it to either one of the platforms.
Chuck.
Hello. And so as JP is being eaten by his own microphone.
Own microphone.
We do have a great show.
Ethan,
Stay
help.
tuned. We have
Hey, help!
This
Come
is-
down. $58.99. Press
This is the pre-show shenanigans. Oh, God.
Coach Quigley,
And we-
send me a wave.
And we haven't even had coffee today.
No, we have not.
JP, stop breaking things. Ethan, I agree, and I would actually
Okay, I
totally
can't hear you. I have my
agree
headset
with
on.
you.
I got no Donald.
You got
What?
no dot who?
You know.
Who?
The dot Donalds. Hey, I didn't have time this morning. Let me tell you. After last
All I
night.
know is people are wondering what the
Oh,
heck.
I saw last night. You and Gail and Steve and
Oh, there's a whole lot of
Courtney
shenanigans that
and
went
Leroy.
on last
I
night.
saw your shenanigans.
It
So
looked fun.
Kathy.
Okay, so we need to start
Let's
the show because
randomly
people are
talk.
wondering what the heck. They're like, we thought we were going to have Randy Travis and Mary Travis today, and instead we have Kathy and JP doing their usual goofy shenanigans.
Well, I got eaten by the microphone.
Okay. Yeah, we're ready. Make us
Well,
officially go
I say,
live.
you say we're ready, but
Oh,
I'm just
but
gonna.
you gotta do your thing.
No, go ahead and do the live thing because I've got
Kathy
something to
says
talk
go
about.
Ahead,
Go
'cause
ahead,
she's got
Charles.
something to talk about.
Go ahead.
She said.
Live from Venture X Studios in Frisco, Texas. It's JP, Kathy, and the crew.
Oh, good
Oh,
morning.
good night.
Morning.
What do you mean good morning? I
No.
haven't gone to bed yet.
Oh, my
Woo,
goodness.
whoop, whoop.
So welcome to the weekend, and it's a long weekend, and make sure that you have a safe Labor Day weekend. Super excited about today's show. Obviously, we have got Randy and Mary Travis on, and they'll come on a little bit after 8 o'clock and be on for the remainder of the show. But before that, we've got a couple of super exciting guests. We've got Dana and Erica from the Children's Advocacy Center of Collin County talking about a really cool fundraiser that they have coming up that we love promoting and how it's going to look a little bit different this year. But then JP, Erica, and Dana are also going to talk to us, and this is going to be part of a series, and you and I will talk about this in a little bit. We're going to have different representatives, have folks on, maybe Erica and Dana on a regular basis from the Children's Advocacy Center of Collin County because along with all of the other things that are going on, is the music still playing super loud?
No, just kind of in the background.
I was like,
I was
okay,
just trying to help.
I'll just keep trying to talk louder. So we're very
Challenge met.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
hello, come on, really?
Okay. Wow. I don't want. Wait, where's the studio
Sorry about
audience? Yes, because they do know I can overtalk even loud music. That's from being a former teacher and a former drill team coach. You kind of learn how to talk super loud.
You do.
Comes in handy when you're a mom and when you're on a radio show.
Especially when you're a mom and you're a drill team coach.
Yeah, there you go. And then when down the road you get asked to be on a show with JP.
Yes.
So there's that. But we're real excited about partnering up with the Children's Advocacy Center of Collin County. They do amazing work. They do amazing work, and unfortunately, and JP and I have talked about this. Oh my goodness, since COVID started, especially as part of our mental health. Moment, which the mental health moment is coming back to JP, Kathy, and the crew, and we're just super excited to be adding new shows and old segments and new segments. But this is something that's so important because kids are the number of kids being abused and being killed through abuse. You know, you hear of alcoholism and drug abuse and all these things on the rise, and people working at home and trying to teach their kids at home with remote learning. Some families have thrived in those situations, and unfortunately, JP, there have been some families where I'm so fearful to even know what some of these kids have gone through.
Oh, goodness gracious, yes. You know, and I got to witness that on the front lines with the Child Advocacy Center. Sometimes it was a referral to the Child Advocacy Center.
Oh, yeah. And they are spot on with everything they do, and they're just an amazing organization, and we're super glad to be highlighting them on the show today. And then also Randy and Mary Travis. And y'all are in for a treat with these two stellar individuals. Yeah, so I would like to say, JP, that I'm usually calm, cool, and collected, but that would be a lie.
Well, you were calm, cool, and collected.
Well, let's just say that
I'm
having to fangirl out. I mean, I'm.
Did I ever sense a little drool the other day?
I might no. Well,
because I thought I saw you do this a couple of times.
We're so excited. You know, it's one of those things you just, you're growing up and you have, and I'm a ginormous lover of music. I love music. I mean, I've said on the air a million times, I'd rather go to a great concert of a band I love or a singer that I love than go on a vacation. That's just how much I love music. And y'all are in for such a treat. Just two giving, kind, Christian, tenacious people, two people who have fought things that hopefully most of us will never have to go through.
Oh, goodness gracious.
You know, health-wise and otherwise, and they're still out there trying to help other people and trying to help kids. As a matter of fact, we probably need to get Randy and Mary Travis hooked up with the Children's Advocacy Center of Collin County with some of the programs they've got that they're working on for
music
kids
and art,
everything.
yes.
So there's just
so super excited.
Yeah, just a big day to lead us into Labor Day and
then a great Labor Day show.
Yeah. So
you
we're
don't
real
want to miss
excited.
that too.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, though. Before I labor any further on any of this.
Thank
you. So first of all, I want to go to the message board. A lot going on up on the message board from everybody this morning. First of all, JP, don't break things. Ethan, how long have you known me? You know I'm going to break things. Coach Quigley, we're glad everybody's back home safe in Jamaica Beach.
Oh, yay. Oh, thank goodness.
Yes, and super excited that Michelle gets after 10 o'clock this morning, the day off. And she's getting ready to travel some, so we bid her
we always love
safe travels.
We always love watching her, living vicariously through her on Facebook.
Absolutely. And we're going to continue to pray for Misty Blue Blah's dad and aunt.
Yes,
and so hopefully things will go well there. Also want to say a early birthday. Shout out to Gail Meeks. You can catch the video on John Edward Payton last night of her dancing with the band for her birthday song.
I just love that. I'm so sorry that I missed that. It just looked like so much fun last night.
To miss it. You can go back and look at it on John's.
No, I missed actually being there in person, you know, and Gail's like, that's okay, I ate your slice of cake. And I'm like, all right, as long as you had an adult beverage for me.
And Michelle, we're going to keep the name of the restaurant out, but I got to be honest with you. Barbecue was subpar.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not a fan. But I love you, Michelle. Music was good. Barbecue was subpar. Yeah, my pulled pork was dry. My sausage was dry. I'm like, ugh.
Well, then don't say don't say, we don't want to.
I didn't say the restaurant's name. Don't get me sideways.
You don't want to.
Well, was it sausage or was it kielbasa?
No, it was supposed to be sausage.
Okay.
Supposed to be. I wasn't impressed.
Because sausage tends to be a lot greasier.
It can be,
kielbasa.
Right.
Kielbasa is more of on the drier side.
Yeah, I think they just had this one on the spit just a little too long.
Okay.
Anyways, had a great time with friends, though. Enjoyed the music. Missed out on The boat ride. They went on a boat ride last night.
How fun
Vegas
is that?
Bob was in town.
Oh, I love it.
See,
I could have met.
See, and there goes Gail. See.
Vegas
Now, Gail
Bob.
makes me feel bad because I can't eat beef. She says the brisket was awesome. But of course it was. Thank you, Gail. Now I feel bad. Now I need counseling, a cry closet, and hot cocoa and a pizza.
Oh, my.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Oh, y'all are a mess. Hey, I did want to mention very quickly, we've Richardson Theater Center are good friends of the show, and Rachel Lindley, their our artistic director, amazing lady, just extremely talented. And once they start having productions, we will definitely have folks from the Richardson Theater Center back on. But Rachel's mom passed, so we just wanted to ask the crew to please pray for her. Just an amazing woman, and just very sorry for Rachel and her family's loss. And so we just want you to know that the crew is praying for you.
So also want to send out a big old hug and kisses to our very own Dr. Rebecca Good.
Yes.
She will not be on this morning.
Yes.
Not allowed, as they are celebrating the life of her father.
Right, yes.
And so I know she has
May he
family in
rest
town
peace.
and all of that.
And he
so.
served in the military. What an amazing man. You look at Dr. Good, and she's such an amazingly talented woman. And then you hear about her dad's life story, and where she gets that natural leadership and that natural grit and talent from. So, Dr. Good, the crew is absolutely praying for you and your family as well.
All right. Speaking of that, how about this? You should have been praying for Kathy and I during COVID-19. You know how incredibly active we are. And so we could not be active stuck in our homes. So we went out and we tried to find different things that we could spend money on and have sent to us 6 weeks later, because the mail ran so slowly bad.
If you were lucky.
Yeah, if you're lucky. That we would never have purchased without COVID-19. So one of the things, I'm going to kick us off, I think. But Chuck can't see my screen.
And we still have Erica and Dana coming on shortly. But we've
says I'm controlled by Frisco's iPad. Okay.
Technical issues. Are we good?
We're not good though.
Are we good?
No, we didn't get coffee.
Are we good?
Where's Chip with Uber Eats coffee?
Well, when you show up 5 minutes before the show.
Oh,
busted.
Boy, I just got busted.
Yeah, there it is.
Chuck busted my chops.
Are you trying to pull your
man.
screen up so it can show on the other thing?
Yeah, I want to show the thing, see, because you got to see this.
Oh, what you purchased? Well, do you want to talk about mine?
Yeah, go ahead and kick us off.
Okay, so anyways, I've made several purchases during COVID-19. Some because you didn't want to go to the store for it or whatever the case may be. But something I purchased that I would not have purchased if it were not COVID-19 was the neck hammock.
Yeah, talk about that.
Anybody hear about the neck hammock? Which I am so happy that, first of all, it took almost 2 months. It was over 2 months, I think. I would have to go and look at the day I purchased it. But it might have been even closer to 3 months before it finally came. I'm very glad I paid half price for it because the way they show it, like your head's supposed to be suspended. Now you do it on a doorknob, so you have to tell your family, hey, don't open the door because you will, crash the top of my head in. But you lay on the floor, you have this thing that hooks from the doorknob, and then your neck is supposed to be, and your head is supposed to be suspended. But the little string thingies, the little bungee type style cords aren't very tight. So I was like, these are almost just like normal strings, and it's supposed to adjust accordingly to your head. And so
did you get jacked?
Well, I mean, I'm suspended, but I thought I would be like 3 or 4 inches suspended from the floor. And it's kind of just like a good, so inch,
are you trying to make
maybe?
yourself taller? Is that what you're trying to do?
No, I'm
She was
trying
to get rid of her head.
I was supposed to have had surgery on my shoulder from the scooter accident, which, next week we're going to talk about how it's a year too late, but now they're taking the scooters out of Dallas. But so I've had a shoulder injury, a neck injury, another shoulder injury from when I was a cheer coach for my daughter's cheer team back in the day. And so between neck injuries from dancing, the scooter injury on one shoulder, cheerleading injury on another shoulder. I wanted something because I wasn't able to go to the chiropractor or to my orthopedic doctor or anybody, so I needed some relief. And it is now sitting on the corner in its little pack on the corner of my dresser. I have used it all of one time. I'm so bummed out because on the Facebook commercials, it looked good.
Yeah, it always does.
I mean, it looked really good.
It's supposed to look good on the commercial because then that's why they got.
And then they sucker people like me in. Well, JP, what was yours?
So mine, and I can't get it to come up yet. So why don't we do Dana first, and we'll
Let's do something important besides our crazy.
I think I may have suckered Chip in because he asked me for the studio address.
Oh, thank you, Chip.
Thank you, Chip.
We love you.
Hey, do me a favor, Chip. Tell Ben Franklin I said hello.
Yeah, tell Ben Franklin we will see him Wednesday.
With Ben. You know that, don't you?
He absolutely does. And I'll see Chip at the Young Republicans state convention this weekend at the gala and everything.
I was going to go to that with Keenan, but I'm going to be in Phoenix helping Dad.
Just
you
so super excited about it.
You, John, and say you could go to this URL.
Oh yeah, go to that and find it. But as a matter of fact, Chip got us the hookup, and next Wednesday we're going to have Ben Franklin on the show for a big announcement.
Big announcement.
So so let's get the important ladies on.
He doesn't have to use a Ouija board.
Okay, no, goodness gracious.
That's what I love.
Where'd you pull that out of? Okay, so.
I don't know. But I know we're excited about having Dana come on the show. And
good morning, ladies. Dana and Erica.
That's right.
From the Children's Advocacy Center of Collin County. Good morning, ladies. How are y'all?
Oh, I can't hear him. Just
for you.
Oh, there we go. Now we can hear him. Hey, sorry. On Friday, we're a mess. Well,
that's okay. We are too.
Okay, good. Then we're going to get along just great.
Dot 54, Chuck.
Okay.
All right. So first of all, just real quick in a capsule, what does the Collin County Children's Advocacy Center do?
Well, first of all, thank you for having us on this morning. We really appreciate you taking the time to chat with us.
Yes.
So the Children's Advocacy Center, our mission is to provide safety, healing, and justice to children that have been victimized by child abuse in Collin County. We do that through a multidisciplinary team. We co-house with law enforcement, child protective services, therapists, family advocates, forensic interviewers, volunteers, and interns. And we really provide services to all victims in Collin County of child abuse and neglect. That was around 4,000 kids last year. And, you know, our goal is really to support families that have been affected by child abuse by providing all of these essential services to them.
So when you say that, now this is something that you do for the entire county. Is that not correct?
That is correct. We serve 100% of the county, and all of our services are free of charge to the family. We don't, no one ever has to pay for a service that they receive from us. And they can come for their lifetime. So if a child is abused when they're 5, they can come back as often as they need to help cope with that trauma and deal with that trauma through the different developmental markers of their life.
Now, and people in the public don't generally have access to the advocacy center on the front end. That generally goes through a police agency or the district attorney's office. Is that correct?
Generally, what happens is a concerned citizen, it could be a teacher, it could be a pediatrician, has a concern that a child is being abused. And if they're concerned by law, they're required to report that concern to Child Protective Services or to law enforcement. And so that is how families become involved with the Advocacy Center. The community member reaches out to Child Protective Services or law enforcement to make that report, and then that initiates the case with the Children's Advocacy Center.
Okay.
So, and generally, so if you get a call from a teacher, you generally have somebody from the sheriff's office at one of your locations. Is that not correct? Or you're connected to a detective directly?
So the sheriff's office actually houses detectives within our Children's Advocacy Center. We also work with several other jurisdictions in Collin County, like the Plano Police Department, Family Violence Unit, the Wiley Police Department, the Allen Police Department, McKinney, and Frisco Police Departments, as well as the sheriff's office.
Now, I'm answering a question for you on the board back there, but one of the questions came in from Tess Armstrong. Can children come back when they are adults?
Yes, they can. That's actually a trend that we have seen. We've been open for 25 years now. And so we now are seeing kids that came to the center when they were children, and now they're becoming parents, and they want to prevent abuse in their own children. And so they come back to us for therapy so they can learn skills of how to protect their children, how to talk to their children about abuse, and how to keep their own kids safe. And that's really our goal, is to break the cycle of child abuse. And if we can do that by offering that child therapy throughout her lifetime, then that's what we want to do.
And it's amazing what y'all have done. And the great thing is, and we want to let the crew know that that y'all are going to be a regular part of the show from now, and we're going to have y'all on from time to time and talk about how do you look for signs of abuse, especially during COVID. I mean, everything's so, I mean, there are going to be kids who are going back to school, who have gone back to school this week or are going back next week. And it's going to be the first time that somebody besides that parent or those parents have laid eyes on them. So we want to do, we're going to do like a big 30-minute segment with y'all. And we're so appreciative of y'all's time. But so you can help educators, parents, Sunday school teachers, coaches, anybody who would come in contact with these kids. What do you look for, and what can you do, and what are you legally? You know, I'm a former teacher myself. You have legal responsibilities. If you think a child has been abused, you can't be like, well, you have a legal obligation.
Right. That is so true. That is so true. And you know, our teachers have always been our number one reporters of child abuse. And during the pandemic, you know, just like everybody else, we have been concerned about kids that are home and have been home with their abusers for 6 months. And we are really happy to see kids going back to school in person so that they can be with those trusted adults. They can see those teachers. And, you know, they can talk about what went on while they were home.
Right,
so we're really grateful for our teachers.
And we're so thankful that there's an organization like the Children's Advocacy Center of Collin County that's available to help these kids who so desperately need this help. But it takes money. And we want people to be able to donate to y'all. And this is something we'll talk about again very soon. But y'all have a fundraiser, and we've promoted your fundraiser before. But of course, again, because of COVID, everything looks different. So tell us about the fundraiser this year, and how can the crew help, and where do we go to make donations if we're not able to participate?
Sure. So I'm Dana, and I handle our special events at the center. Hello, everybody. And yeah, like you said, everything looks different this year. Actually, when all this started going down in March, we were getting ready for our largest fundraiser, our gala. And that had to be canceled.
Y'all's annual gala's in March.
And moved to a virtual event, which ended up being successful. I mean, we had to pivot very quickly. That's our largest annual fundraiser. We had to do everything that we could, you know, with keeping staff safe, with keeping the community safe, but we had to press on. The need is still there. So to that end, we also have a teddy bear ride, a motorcycle ride every year, and that's our longest standing fundraiser. This year is the 28th annual teddy bear ride presented by Harley-Davidson Financial Services. They've been a partner now for many years. And yeah, the event is ever evolving as far as the details go, but I know many people in the community look forward to this event, riders and non-riders. They begin buying teddy bears following last year's event. It's kind of something they do even with the family or as a family. So while the event's going to look different this year, please mark your calendar for Sunday, October 25th. We will have a ride. We know there won't be a big gathering pre-ride or post-ride at this point. We're not planning for that. But until every child is safe, we're going to ride. And while we're not collecting bears in person this year, you can make a donation online. I'm going to provide y'all that web address so you can post it.
Oh, fantastic.
If you go to www.caccollincounty.org, You can go to the teddy bear page and find that. Or another cool way that you can give that might be a little more convenient is you can use our new text to give platform, and you can text BEAR, BEAR, to 214-307-9804, and you can help ensure that every child that visits the center will be given a teddy bear. It's a great tool, and Erica could probably attest this better as someone who's interviewed children before. That teddy bear is such a great tool that immediately starts promoting comfort and healing and safety for that child who more than likely has come in a bit of trauma, a state of trauma to the center. So the teddy bears are very important. And like I said, even though the ride's going to look different, we knew we had to pivot and do what we could with keeping our staff safe and keeping the community safe, but we must ride to keep these children safe.
Well, good for y'all. We're definitely going to have y'all come on and talk again at length about child abuse and what to do during COVID and how to help and how to report. But then, Dana, we definitely want to have you come back on and tell us all about that. I mean, you know, I'm sure the crew will be asking.
And
is
Erica,
there,
you can point right below. Pull your hand up.
Yeah, Erica, point
Put your hand
down
up,
to children's.
Erica.
We've got it online.
Put your hand up and point right below you. Say,
There you go.
There you go.
Go to that
Magic
website.
science.
Look at that. Erica's now a true member of the crew.
I know she's already a member.
She's a
of the crew.
crew member.
She's double
like,
pointing.
Bam.
He's in.
I love it.
You know, this is deuces. She's singling.
Oh, I know.
Bam, singles.
Is that a thing?
I don't know. I just made it up.
Right?
Well, maybe hashtag
Oh,
it.
6-shooter. Oh,
You know,
get your gun.
You know,
I
Brittany
know.
Travis was
A
okay.
6-shooter.
So
Yeah.
here's I've got the
Hey,
question.
ready for
Is
this?
there well
Oh, hold on, though. Wait a
Yeah.
minute. You ready for this?
what?
Erica just helped me out with all my Red Raider buddies. Put
Oh.
your guns down.
Oh,
you
but
go.
you're supposed
Put
to
Hook
put
'em
guns-
horns. Yeah, Erica.
Now we're
Whoop,
not
whoop.
going into a college. A
We're
college.
getting collegiate.
Yes, yeah. This is when you're like, well, thank y'all so much
Raise
for
the
letting us
college
be.
roof.
Oh my goodness.
Boom, boom. Time to
So,
die. Whoa,
I
boom.
do have a
Oh.
question, and this is again, we'll have you back on the show to answer. It's like, will there be points along the route where the folks on their Harleys will be riding that, you know, maybe the crew, like a group of us, could get out there and stand and wave at them?
The answer is yes. We will post the route online once it's finalized, but we very much encourage that. The riders love it. They love to have churches, businesses, high schoolers, I mean, anyone that makes signs. They can get, hours of credit for charitable hours if they need to earn some with an organization. We love it. We love the signs and waving.
Y'all
So,
are great, ladies. Thank y'all.
Cass,
God bless y'all.
one of our crew members, Cass DTX, she's awesome. We love her.
Yes, we love her.
She's on our YouTube page.
Listen out of Austin.
Where's our YouTube page at again, Chuck? Is it JP Kathy Crew or JP Kathy and the Crew?
Just have them go to the link tree.
Well, you tell them.
Go to the link tree. Let me pull that up real quick.
Yeah, you pull that up real quick. So the question is,
Yes.
Covering your
are there
head,
any
John.
requirements about purchasing a bear, and what do you do with the bear when you purchase it, and how does that work?
Oh, good question.
There aren't any requirements. I would just say to buy it as if you were buying it for your own child or grandchild or niece or nephew. These children deserve the best as well. So buy just the cutest bear you can find. Size of bear doesn't matter. And, we're not accepting teddy bear donations this year just due to everything going on. So what I would redirect you to is to the website or to that text to give option so that you can donate $1 to whatever dollars towards the purchase of teddy bears that we will make as an agency as we kind of look at our stock throughout the coming year. We do expect a spike in cases, obviously, as kids are going back to school, so we just want to be prepared for that.
Well, and y'all will be. I've JP and I have both dealt with worked with the Children's Advocacy Center of Collin County, on multiple levels. over the years, and y'all are always so professional, and y'all are always so amazing as far as being transparent with the public about, here's exactly what your money goes to. That's why y'all are one of the better organizations to donate to out there, and we appreciate y'all so much, and we can't wait to have y'all on again.
Really can't. Actually.
We can't wait to be on again either. You giving us an opportunity to generate awareness helps us get in front of child abuse. We want to get in front of it. So
Yes,
we do have some
amen.
education opportunities to tell your viewers about. So thank you.
Well,
Love it.
one of the things you have to understand, one of the things that was near and dear to my heart was working with at-risk kids and at-risk families
Right.
for 30 years, to the tune of about 98,000 of them. And so I worked with the Child Advocacy Center for a long time, mainly the Los Rios branch or
Beautiful
satellite office,
beautiful
whatever you want to call
facility
it,
over there.
in Plano, of course. So that was the majority of my my dealings with. But nonetheless, would like to really once a month have you guys on a regular segment where we can dive into the different areas of the Advocacy Center, what the Advocacy Center may need. We've already got crew members saying they're ready to send money over.
Oh, Faye
and ready to
Curtis
help out.
says, love this organization. I will donate. Yes, they are awesome. I loved working with them. As a matter of fact, and Dr. Good has hopped on our line. And Dana, Dr. Good is who I mentioned to you. Y'all may be a good fit to interview on her show. And she's a real out-of-the-box thinker. What I was talking to you about with Dr. Good was possibly doing something with the educators on her campus. So as the kids come back, again, they're one of these cutting-edge charter schools out there, and they can maybe lead the way for other charter schools in North Texas as far as what to look for and how to handle abuse, so we get on top of it and take care of these kids.
That'd be great.
Love you,
right.
ladies.
Great.
Y'all have a blessed Labor Day
What's
weekend.
that? What?
I think this is Positive Person Experience Friday.
And these two
the
ladies
first
are
half
our
is
positive people.
Well,
Y'all
we have
are
a lot of positive people
Yes,
today.
we do. Well, y'all are one of our you two are two of
Now-
our positive people or positive person
Positive person
experiences.
experience.
Erica and Dana.
Thank you so
now
much.
take your fingers and do this. Because that means you're now pointing at the positive person
your
experience.
left.
And
To your left.
and
To your
yeah.
left. Oops, sorry, my
To
bad.
your up.
The other way. There you go. Dana's got it.
Dana's
Dana's got it.
and
Oh, hey.
Erica to
Or we
your
can
up.
just do the Madonna. Whoop,
Point to the
whoop,
wall
whoop,
and
whoop.
up at an
Yeah.
angle.
And Dr.
Up to
Good
the
said
angle.
yes. So
That's
Dana, I
right.
will put you in touch with her later today.
You're good
I knew
sports.
she'd be all over it.
Have a blessed weekend, y'all.
Love you, ladies.
We'll be talking to you.
See
Thank
you
guys, y'all
soon.
too. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
All right. So lots going on out in the world. And so COVID-19 struck us all in a weird way, right?
Did you find your
Oh, yeah,
COVID
I did.
silliness?
Well, I had it, but poor Chuck, we were trying to figure out how to get it up on the screen. But here's the thing, right? Hold on, Chuck, before you put it up there. Who on earth would have ever thought we would have had the
I
TP?
still have a blank screen for you, by the way.
Well, I'm connected and I'm up. So the TP,
well, tell us about your
the
thing.
TP crisis
Oh,
of
my
2020.
Yeah.
How does that happen? Like, who wasn't
Well,
wiping
everybody,
their tush?
No, and you know what? I don't think it's that. I think, well, at least I hope it's not that. Of course, I've been the one that for the whole time that COVID's gone on could not believe the number of people who didn't wash their hands when they go to the bathroom. What is wrong with people? Like my parents, they wouldn't let us leave the bathroom. My kids, I was like, oh no, you did not wash your hands long enough, kind of a thing. And so
I'm shocked at the people. I'll be in the men's room, and we've got stalls and urinals,
and people come out,
and they come
men
out
are
of
the
the
worst,
stall, and they
worst
walk right out the door,
habit
and I'm
breakers
just
of
like,
that.
Well, how about the ones that walk away from the urinal? You know what they were holding.
Okay, well, we gotta
come
keep. We want to keep.
None
the
of you
show
know what they were
today.
holding?
Okay, we
come
do.
on.
Well, and
you
but
never know.
that's the thing.
Are they a
It's
man? Are they not?
it's
I don't know.
well, but here's the thing. I don't know. I think it's the fact that everybody was like, they're going to run out of toilet paper, and it was kind of like during Harvey. Remember the gas lines?
It was a crisis.
Yeah, and it was crazy.
The TP crisis of 2020.
There's even a necklace that you can buy that I saw on Facebook, and it says 2020, and it has
There's no way
it
to
has
get this
toilet
up there?
paper on it. Well,
I'm
you're going to have to tell us
54.
about it.
It might
because
be,
Randy
did
Travis
you-
is
did
about to
you
come
Go
on.
to sleep,
Yes.
or did you
No.
shut down and start the computer?
Shut down, started the computer.
Well, I don't.
It says I'm
Okay,
controlled
all
by
I
you.
know is that Randy
All right,
Travis
so here we
and
go.
Mary are
I'll
about to
show
come
it. We'll
on.
see.
So,
Let's see if
We'll
it's
see.
Nope.
I mean, there's what it
It's
looks
a
like.
black screen. I don't know what to tell you.
all right.
I'm going to shut it down and come back up again. So here's what I bought.
What did you
went out.
buy?
I decided, you know what? I'm going to avert the TP crisis of 2020.
Okay.
Although my father always keeps 964,000 rolls.
Well,
of
you
toilet
said
paper.
he's a toilet paper hoarder, anyways.
Yes.
Like upstairs, downstairs, every
He is.
bathroom,
You
every
could just
closet.
tell me the URL and I could go to it.
It's about.
Uh-oh.
It's
Wait, we've got an email coming up.
Well, no, we got Charles's personal email. We've
Whoa,
got
whoa,
it's
whoa.
about.getaclearrear.com.
I'm sorry, say it again.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Getaclearrear.com. So what did I do? I went to DIY because every smart man goes to DIY.
There you go.
And I found the portable bidet. I want to have a bidet party. That's how fun these are.
But I don't think that's a thing.
Is
Whoa,
that not a thing?
You know what? Somewhere that is a thing.
Well, I bet in France it's a thing.
There you go.
Did you find it? The clear rear bidet?
Is that it?
I don't know. I can't tell.
Well, do I
Scan
need to
down.
hit the Plawatch review?
No, go down. Scan down.
No.
I'm hoping you went to the
All I
actual
know is
site.
everybody's wondering when Randy and
Yeah,
Mary
is
are
that it
coming
right
on.
there? Are they
Yeah,
washing
that
fruit?
looks like it.
So check this out. Not
You want me
only
to make that the big screen?
yes, not only.
Oh, yeah, yes, please. Let's have a full
Let's
blown up
get- let's
picture of the
zoom in on
bidet.
Yeah, let's zoom in on this. First of all, easy installation.
So you would not have purchased this if it weren't for COVID.
Weren't for COVID-19.
I mean, literally, you started looking into this when we
Yeah.
couldn't find toilet paper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep going until you find the fruit. They're washing fruit. So here's the thing. Not only can you sit down, do your business, and you got this portable bidet that'll clean your business for you, but if you stand away from the toilet and hold your apples up, you can wash your fruit.
Well, I am not bringing fruit into my bathroom ever.
I'm just saying. If you take your
There is
grapes,
no chance
you
where
can
that
wash
ever
your
happens.
grapes. You can wash your
Can you,
apple.
can you wash your nuts?
You can wash your nuts.
Oh my
Right.
gosh.
If they happen to be walnuts or pistachio nuts, absolutely.
Please keep it
You
PG.
can
Y'all are
wash
killing
your
me.
nuts as well.
Y'all
But
are
I will.
killing
Let me just say this though, it was very easy installation, and it really works. And it has a female dial
Right.
and a male dial.
Well, there you go.
And so there
Super
you go.
easy to install.
Super easy to install. And so I give my COVID-19 purchase that I'm going to talk about, that I talked about today, 2 thumbs up.
Okay, there you go. So you had a positive experience.
I did have a
love
positive
it.
I wonder
experience.
if,
You know how- you know
Kathy
where
and
s-
I will get one now.
Well, we'll talk
Since we're
about
promoting
that off air. Speaking of positive experiences, we are about to have Randy and
Are you
Mary
stealing my
Travis
thunder?
on.
You
I'm
stole my
I'm
thunder.
about to turn it over to you, honey. We already talked. We talked about that on the way in studio. We are about to have two just incredibly gracious warriors in. I just obviously who doesn't know Randy Travis? To say I was starstruck, that's low on the totem pole. Just one of the most amazing voices in country music. And his wife could not be more incredible, more supportive. I told JP, I said, like, this is one of these stories where these two, you can look at you can see them when they look at each other that they both feel like they won the husband and wife lottery. What an inspiration they are all the way around.
Well, what's fortunate is that I got to know Mary years ago when she was with Randy. And, of course, didn't know all of what they were going through, knew about a little bit about what they were going through. But then Courtney's horses are out there.
Right.
And so by going out there, it was funny because Mary's son, Raleigh, comes down because a buddy of his was down there feeding cattle or something like that and couldn't believe that he saw old Judge Payton.
Had he seen Judge Payton in court?
He had, and about 3 or 4 others of them. But all of a sudden, next thing you know, we've got like 6 guys down there, 3 or 4 girls down there, and Courtney's like, "What the heck?"
Everybody's just shooting the breeze.
Yeah, and it was funny. I was sitting on the tack box, and it was like I was holding court. And there was like 3 or 4 young guys, young men, standing around. We were just all catching up. And Mary and Randy were in Nashville at the time.
Right.
And so Raleigh picks up the phone and goes, "You're not going to believe who's sitting in our barn." And so when they got back into town, Mary came down and visited, and then we went up to the house and we visited, and we've had dinner up at the house, and they're just extremely sweet people. And it's amazing when it's just an amazing inspirational story. And so
all
excited.
the way around.
Yeah.
There are so many. When you listen and watch this interview, and we encourage you to share this, from whatever social media platform you're watching JP, Kathy, and the crew on. We're talking about new music, new songs out. We're talking about love of country. We're talking about love of God. We're talking about love of helping other people. Even when you've gone through such a tough road, you're gone down such a tough road yourself. Just two amazing people, and we're so happy to be bringing Randy and Mary Travis to you, the crew.
Yeah, and so enjoy their friendship. Appreciate their friendship. Enjoyed lunch the other day with them. I enjoyed lunch with them the other day. I had a good time.
And nothing is off limits when you're talking to them and asking them questions. It's just what a great couple. Very blessed.
Couple.
Very blessed to have had them on the show.
Absolutely.
And looking forward to bringing them to you right now.
Right now, here we go. We're going to go ahead and get you started. Give us just a second. We're going to give you a still screen, and we're going to get them set up and get them in the studio here and start the interview. Well, I'll tell you, I cannot express how excited I am to have in studio Mary and Randy Travis. Thank you both for coming in. I know you had to swim to get in today.
Well, thank you for having us. It's such an honor to be here. And
thank you.
Yeah, we had a little break in the rain, so we didn't have to paddle too hard.
Well, I'll tell you, I was out that way yesterday, as you know, and I was driving back on 455 up in northern part of Denton County, and the water was coming up on both sides, and I was hydroplaning home is what I did yesterday. So, no, thank you for joining us. One of the things that has touched my heart more than anything else were a lot of the tributes to 9/11. And one of the ones that hit me the most was Randy's tribute to 9/11 when you did America Will Always Stand. And so with your permission, Randy, I'd like to play America Will Always Stand.
Thank you.
All right, let's go ahead and kick this off and play it. Charles, if you will let everybody see what we see.
She stands in the face of evil and will not lose hope. America, the land of freedom, is still the home of the brave. So raise the banner called Old Glory. Let us join our fellow man. History will write the story. America will always stand. Walking through the fires of danger, there are those who gave their lives. They're the world's greatest heroes, and we won't forget their sacrifice. So raise the banner called Old Glory. Let us join our fellow man. History will write the story. America will always stand. America is not divided. Our America will always stand. History will write the story. America will always stand.
Well, I'll tell you, Randy, you know, every time I listen to that song, first of all, goosebumps. So thank you for that. Reminding us that America is great, and we get to determine that it's great, nobody else, including outside influences. And so God bless you for producing that and singing that and making that a part of our lives.
Thank you.
You know, one of the things I wanted to share, we were downstairs coming up, and I had Steve and Gail Meeks up. They're going to have a show that helps couples with financial issues. And but Steve was in the Navy, and he was one of those that went and did it. He's one that dove off the back of the ship, jumped in a vessel, landed at night, and surged into dangerous areas, war zones, right? And one of the things that Steve shared with Randy and Mary was that, and he had shared this with me about a week ago, that what the guys wanted to hear was Randy Travis send them on their way. And he shared that with Mary and Randy downstairs. And so what a tribute, Randy, to all the men and women that serve in our military that you were able to put together in your music to help send them off. I know it sounds crazy, but into war. Yeah. You know, so.
It gave them a piece of home.
It really did. It
No
really
pun
did.
intended on the piece, but it gave them.
Yes.
Well, and one of the things that I think hits real close to home for you, Mary, and for you, Randy, is the Randy Travis Foundation.
Yes.
And what you're able to do, talk about, and make public to more people, or make people more aware of how they can be a part of a solution to something. So, Mary, Randy, tell us about the Randy Travis Foundation. And I know it's kind of a silly question to ask what inspired it, but a lot of people will go through the things that Randy's gone through, but you've taken your whole effort to the next level. So tell us all about that.
Well, the Randy Travis Foundation was founded on the fact that we went through the struggles that we went through. It was real life, and the pain and the struggles and the answers that we never got, the answers that we got we didn't like. So it was a positive way to take what life had dealt us and do something with it to help the next person. And I guess Albert Einstein once said, surround yourself with positive, because the negative always has a problem for every solution.
Right.
And so, we decided that the foundation, the onset of Randy's whole issue was a viral cardiomyopathy. It was a virus that hit the heart. But it was misdiagnosed for 2 days when we went to the emergency room, because they said it was first day walking pneumonia. Second day, we went back because he couldn't breathe at all, and it was full-blown pneumonia, and they thought, well, that's strange that it would occur so fast. So by the time we got to the third hospital, which was the heart hospital at Baylor in Plano, Dr. Michael Mack met us there, and he said, it's not the lungs at all, it's the heart. And so he figured out they were going to put him on an Impella to help the heart. It was assist the heart. They had put him on a 2.5 Impella at McKinney, Scott and White, Baylor, but it didn't help. And so that's why we transported him to the heart hospital. They were going to do a twice the strength type Impella, and Dr. Max said, we don't have the time, we'll lose him. And he had already flatlined at McKinney, and they had gotten him back. And it was just one of those just minute to minute trying to figure out what the right answer is, and the doctors didn't know what was going on because he wasn't responding to the pneumonia treatments. So by the time we got to Baylor, or the heart hospital at Baylor, Dr. Mack said, we've got to put him on ECMO. So they immediately went into surgery and put him on ECMO, which is putting a tube up through the groin, the right groin, and it basically takes over your breathing and your blood supply and everything else. And so he was in a coma at that point in time, and for 72 hours he was in the coma. They started bringing him out of the coma, and that's when they figured out that he had that he had stroked when he flatlined. So he had a massive stroke. It was an ischemic stroke in the left cerebral part. And at that point, it was too late to do anything about the stroke because you have 7 hours from the onset of a stroke.
Right.
There's a stroke that occurs every 40 seconds, and for every minute that it's not treated, there's 2 million brain cells that are killed off. So it's so important for people that are having stroke for it to be recognized. We lost the luxury of that because of the coma. And so it was a lot going on real fast, and Randy's courage. I say he stared death in the face, and death blinked. But his courage and God's grace has got us where we are now. We spent 5.5 months in hospitals, and everything from 2 brain surgeries, 5 tracheotomies, intubations, 38, 40 IVs. He had sepsis at one point that was so bad they had to put him in quarantine in Vanderbilt. And the doctor that he had the 3rd week of rotation was George Jones's doctor.
I'll be darned.
And I went to him, and this was after they had already come to me and said, we just need to go ahead and let him go. He's got too many things going wrong. He's going more backwards than forwards.
So let me stop you there. They come to you and they say, too much going on. It's time to let him go. Before you even go into Randy, before you respond verbally to anybody, I mean, this is the man you love, the man you have stood by, and you are racing from medical facility to medical facility at this point. What goes through your mind for you as the wife, the one that loves this man? What are your thoughts at this point?
Well, at that point, we weren't married yet. And so it made it a little bit more difficult because they were not wanting to listen to me as the girlfriend. But I was,
you were there.
Sorry about your bad day, but this is it. And,
right.
We would have been married before, but it just kind of,
fell all this way.
Yeah. So it's okay. But my first reaction was, yes, I've waited for this man all my life.
Yeah.
I love him more than I love my own life, and I'm not going to let him go if there's anything I can do. And my prayer was, God, please let me have him back. Any way, shape, or form, just let me have him back. God was faithful. He gave him back. And
so,
I'm grateful every day. But, yeah, I was mad and I was angry. They had taken me into a room with doctors and interns and nurses, and some of our friends that were there, including Nancy Jones, George's wife, and Jeff Davis, his tour manager for 28 years, and his brother Dennis, some other people, and they said, Mary, we're going to have to let him go. There's nothing else we can do. We can't get on top of. He had serratia pseudomonas. He was very septic. Staph infection that was going rampant. And they said, there's not anything else we can do. So I was at that point a little mad because I was upset that they were giving up when we weren't ready to give up. And of course I was very sad. And so I left the room and I went back to Randy's room, and I just knelt down by his bed and I held his hand and I said, baby, you got to let me know if you want to keep fighting this fight, because we're going to fight it if you want to. Well, he was still in his semi-coma state, and I didn't really expect an answer because of what was going on with him. But he he squeezed my hand, and then a little tear fell right out of the side, and I was like, and I was like a mama bear at that point in time.
Right. Yeah.
It was.
That's a
it's
game
all-
changer.
It was
It's
a game
all-
changer.
That's a game changer.
That's all I needed. So I went back in that room, and I was like, you know what? We're fighting this. With or without you, we're fighting it, and we're watching you. So, you know, they kind of got on board. And that next week, we got Dr. Toll, and he was, like I said, George Jones's doctor. And I sat down and I told him what we'd been through for the last 2 weeks of rotation.
Right.
And he said, okay, Mary, I'm going to change a lot of things. We can only do it for a short period of time, or it'll do more damage than good. So I said, whatever it takes. I mean, we'd already been through the emergency brain surgery where Dr. Mack said, we've got 3 hours to do this surgery. If we don't do it by 6 o'clock, we'll lose him because the midline has shifted so much. And so he said, we have 1 to 2% chance of survival if we do it and 0% if we don't. I said, that's 100% over 0. We're doing it.
That's
So
right.
we
Amen.
did.
I can do the math
I
on
can
that.
do that. And that, again, that was Randy's grit and his determination and, you know, his toughness. But it was hard. But Dr. Toll said, I just lost George Jones, and I'm not losing Randy Travis. So I knew that I had finally a doctor that was on our fighting side.
Right. You had a fighter.
We had a fighter.
You had a warrior.
And in 5 days,
One of God's warriors.
well, he was. And in 5 days, his staff had started turning around and dropping numbers, and the serratia, the pseudomonas, had started dissipating. So within, I think, 11 days, he said, you can take him back to Plano now. You can take him back home. And it was a hallelujah moment.
Boy, yeah, they were getting ready to bury him, and you said not just no, but hell no. We're ready to fight because Randy just told me we're ready to
Yeah,
fight.
Randy, he's the one that
Yeah.
decided.
That's
you know?
awesome.
I was just his
Chuck,
voice.
bring up the website, would you please? So, Mary, talk to us about the picture with him in the wheelchair, because you have been through all of this. You have fought all this. They've told him he's done, and you went in and you kneeled by his side of his bed, and he told you without words, "I'm not done. I'm not. I've got that steely-eyed look I can give you, and then that big smile. I'm not done."
I knew he was having conversations with God.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I knew while he was there, and I knew that he was still talking with God, and they had an agreement.
They came to an agreement.
They did. They had an agreement.
So talk to us about, go ahead and go full screen if you would, Charles, please. Yeah, talk to us about the wheelchair moment. This is a moment.
Yeah, that was a huge moment for us because it was it was 5 months. Yeah, about 5 months and a week into this ordeal that we had been through with 2 steps forward and 1 step back, and then 3 steps forward and 4 steps back, and you just day after day. But anyway, this was our first day to be able to go out outside of the hospital, and his first day to get any fresh air in 5 months. And we were at Vanderbilt, and so they let us go out on top of Vanderbilt where the helicopter pad is. And Randy's in his chair there. He's overlooking the city of Nashville. And I just thought that was such a poignant moment to say, I'm not leaving Nashville. I'm not, it's still home to me, and I'm still here, guys. So he was kind of an angel looking over Nashville from my point of view.
Well, and what a victorious moment. I mean, that's a
was.
victory. And I see the shadows from the sun,
Yeah.
and it's like God's looking down on him, saying, okay,
Smiling.
here you go.
I gave you another chance to
Yeah.
make the best of
Yeah.
it. And then, you move forward with your foundation, music and arts education.
Right.
Tell the crew about how important that is to you, Randy, and to you, Mary.
Well, obviously, music that's the fiber of his soul. I mean, that's what drove him. And from the time he was 3 or 4 years old, he had a little guitar in his hand and a horse under his bottom. But he thrived with music, and he was good at it. And his voice is God-given. He didn't really take vocal lessons. And
I didn't know that.
No, and he went.
Oh, that is a gift from God. He
When
doesn't
he
give
wa-
out that many voices.
He doesn't, not like that.
No.
When he was 9 and his brother was 10, his daddy sent him to a guitar teacher, And she said, well, now one of you, your daddy said one of you has to sing. Well, Ricky, his brother, was older. He said, I don't want to sing. And so she said, well, I guess that her name was Kate Mangrum. She said, well, I guess you have to sing, Randy. And he's like, okay. And so that's how we got this beautiful voice, was by default. You know, he was told he had
Somebody had to sing out of the two of you.
So music was so important to him, and he wasn't a straight A student in class. No. He didn't care for math and science and history. He loved his music, both singing and playing the guitar and entertaining. And, of course, now we look back on it, changing lives. But if he had not had that, I guess it was in 9th grade, that the principal finally said, you know what, you come in the front door, you go out the back door, you don't spend any time in class, at least go out in the parking lot and pick up cigarette butts. And so he did that for part of 9th grade, and then it was not going to be, and he went full-time music from there on. Yeah. So it hurts my heart to hear that schools are shutting down arts programs and music programs, and there are kids out there that are so talented and that are hidden talents. I mean, who would know? And if they don't have that access to music and to instruments, which for people that are not maybe from a well-off school or something, or home, they can't afford even pianos or guitars or anything. Right. So it's important to us to bring awareness that there are kids that don't learn math and science, but they learn through music, and there's so much therapy in music. They found that in stroke. They found that with all sorts of maladies that people have and recoveries. So why isn't music just as important as math and science, if not more now than ever, because of what this world has been through?
You're right.
So,
and music it's healing.
Very healing.
That's I know. If I'm sad, if I'm mad, if I'm happy, I listen to music.
Yeah, and I love the one. Music is an equal opportunity healer. It's good for the performer and the listener.
It is.
It's so true.
Amen.
Yeah.
So what does his foundation do, and how can we support the Randy Travis Foundation?
Well, as far as just as bringing awareness to viral cardiomyopathy and educating people on that so that it's not misdiagnosed or not diagnosed at all, as was our case the first 48 hours, which were critical. So we'd love to bring some sort of awareness to hospitals. Now they have, and I know Tennessee was one of the first to start it, the governor, because of Randy. We met with him, and they set up hospitals that were stroke prepared. So that people that lived somewhere, just because somebody called 911, they didn't just take them to the closest hospital, but if they were showing signs of stroke, they went to one that was credentialed for stroke recovery, immediate help, so that they weren't losing precious time in transport. It's important for people to understand the only 100% cure is to keep from getting a stroke, but you can't do that because you don't know.
Right.
So that between just awareness and then stroke recovery, just patience, somehow reaching out there to the people that are going through it. If it's phone calls, if it's reaching out, if it's don't give up. I visit with a lot of people that are going through stroke. They've reached out to me. They say, what do I do? How do I feel?
Well, like as the loved one,
yeah.
Because I would imagine, and you've said you felt helpless. The person that you love the most is in trouble. So
and you can
be a hero to those people to know what does your loved one need.
And what to expect, because we can get a lot of education, but we're never prepared for that. We're never taught how to deal with something like that, and any of us, and we all go through really hard times in life and unexpected emergencies, delays, medical, death, and how do you deal with it? And I think it's most important to understand that you've got to really lean hard on God. Just having sweet Jesus walking beside you every step of the way, knowing that the path is going to be bumpy sometimes, but he's always there, and it will smooth out, with patience and perseverance. And so that's the stroke. The foundation is just something, awareness, early detection, post-stroke rehabilitation, and of course, including children early in music so that they can make a difference too, just like Randy did.
Oh, and we've got several of your fans, including JP and I, sitting here. Can't imagine, like we had friends here earlier, and we were talking about the 80s and the 90s and all the songs that we had of yours on our mixed cassette tapes. For those of you who are young and listening to the show,
they're like, "What's a cassette tape?"
Google it.
What's a cassette tape?
But there wasn't one cassette tape in my cassettes that was mixed that didn't have at least 2 or 3 Randy Travis songs, and there's so many fans that wouldn't have had that. So it's just so amazing, and thank you for that gift. Thank you.
Charles, if you'll bring up the website one more time, please. This is how you can contact to donate, be a part of the movement to educate and make sure that children have that opportunity for music and art education. And so you can contact Bailey at the RandyTravisFoundation.org. Is that accurate
Yes,
still?
I think so, yes.
And so you can go on to the site at RandyTravisFoundation.org by appointment only, but make a contact, reach out, and let's help somebody else. Let's help educate the general public and even the medical public. Maybe it's time we meet with Governor Abbott. Do something here in Texas. Oh, I'm thinking the same thing.
Amen.
It may be time to meet with Governor Abbott. So we may have to do that one day. Take a trip down to Austin. We'll load the RV up and we'll go down to Austin. we'll roll into the Capitol in style. That's what we'll do.
Oh no.
So talking about style, how about this? I'm sitting there and I'm watching a rendition of Amazing Grace. And I mean, tears just started flowing. My great-grandmother used to sing Amazing Grace because the women on my side of the family are musical. Me, not musical. Not at all.
We still love you, JP.
Right. Well, you have to. It's a voice you have to love.
You can play music, it's just on the radio.
Yeah, yes.
Thank you,
and I do that pretty well. I will be
quoting her on a regular basis. Remember what Mary said about playing it on the radio.
Give it back.
Well, especially with me.
Let Randy have it.
Especially with me. And so, how did it feel? I mean, how did it make you feel, in even just in one word, to be able to stand up there in front of your contemporaries? Nobody's expecting this. Everybody knows the battle that you have had, that you pretty much battled from everybody telling you he's done to, yeah, I'm not done. And you belt out Amazing Grace.
A lot.
Yeah.
Did it feel good, honey?
A lot.
And you did a great job, too.
Oh,
Oh,
it
my
was.
goodness.
It was very unexpected. Of course, his induction was in 2016 with Fred Foster and Charlie Daniels, he was so dear to us, and we miss him desperately every day since July the 6th. But we had decided in his acceptance speech, I said, I think you can do this. And we had practiced it some in speech therapy at Select Rehabilitation, and we had left Dallas to go to Nashville the week before the induction, and we were pulling out of the parking lot at my mother's rest home. She passed of dementia, and we were pulling out of the parking lot because we wanted to see her before we left, and his brother called and said, it was a Saturday morning, he said, I hate to tell you, but Dad just died. So his dad just passed away from a massive heart attack, unexpectedly. He was planning to be at the Hall of Fame induction. So we diverted and went to North Carolina instead of Nashville. And he was buried on Tuesday, and then we headed on to Nashville. And in that car ride, both to North Carolina and Tennessee, we ran through Amazing Grace a bunch of times, right? I think he was tired of me turning it on and singing it. I know he was tired. He was tired of hearing me. I know. But anyway, it was just one of those things where we weren't sure we were going to do it up until the moment before the induction started, and we hadn't told the Hall of Fame people. We hadn't told his manager or publicist or anybody. Not a soul. We didn't even tell the kids. So when I got through speaking for him, and I handed him over the mic, and I just said, I'm going to give you back the voice for Randy Travis. We had people from even Texas that were there, and they were like, oh, my gosh, Mary's lost her mind. They're like, what is she thinking? And it was just so beautiful because he took that mic, and it was like he'd never put it down. And he came out with the 4 verses, and it was beautiful, you know, and it's like we talked about, it won't be like it was before, but it's even going to be more beautiful.
Oh,
so,
yeah, even better.
You know, it showed the grit. It showed the determination.
Charles, go to my screen if you would, please. This is from Taste of Country.
Okay.
And I loved what they did with this because it gave a little bit of Charlie Daniels as well. And so here we go. I'm going to go ahead and play this. And
Travis, producer Fred Foster, and Charlie Daniels were inducted on Sunday night in Nashville. Garth Brooks had the honor of inducting Travis, performing 3 wooden crosses, and saying he wouldn't be in the Hall of Fame himself if it weren't for the 57-year-old singer. Wife Mary was at Travis's side as he took the microphone and shocked the audience by singing Amazing Grace.
We smile every morning, and there's some nights that we cry when we go to bed in frustration. We pray differently now, we trust faithfully, and we fight on. Every day we sing. It's a special thing to hear Randy Travis sing, I think. Don't you agree?
You'd be hard-pressed to find someone in attendance who wasn't tingling all over.
Sometimes we sing the greatest redemption song of all time, and it fills us with thankfulness. That song is Amazing Grace. Ladies and gentlemen, heroes and friends, tonight I want to give back to you the voice of Randy Travis. If you would all join in with Randy singing Amazing Grace.
Okay.
Garth will help you.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me.
so, again, just beautiful. Amazing. I mean, I'm looking at Garth, who tributes you to his success as a big part of that, standing there singing with you and enjoying every moment of Amazing Grace. And so God bless you for showing people that don't quit, don't give up. I'm going to get in front of the world and I'm going to show you. Yep, and you did. And God bless you for that. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
I mean, it was amazing. And I'll tell you something else that's amazing is that Randy and Mary sat down with author Ken Abraham and his wife and wrote a book, but not just any book. Tell us about what you were able to put together to give to the world, a piece of Randy Travis and his life. And so tell us about the autobiography. Did you hold anything back?
No, not really. I mean, it was the good, the bad, the ugly, as they say. And it was interesting going back through it, as far as digging information out. It was cathartic. I mean, it was healing in a way. It was painful in a way. But it was something where so many of his fans had wanted to know where he came from, what the background was, what the backstory was on his songs, what created the songs, and just the man that he is. And I think that Ken Abraham nailed it. He had to kind of work backwards because it was post-stroke, and Randy was not able to just sit like most people are when they're having a ghostwriter write their autobiography. He couldn't sit and have long hourly conversations. So Ken would go and find stories and interviewed. He interviewed countless people, and got their stories, and then you'd come back to Randy and I, and he would verify with Randy everything. Randy would give us kind of hints as to what rabbit trails to go down, and it was really it was an interesting project, and couldn't have done it with anybody more of a masterpiece or a master than Ken Abraham. I think he did a beautiful job capturing, and I think one of the greatest compliments is we talk to people that say, I feel like Randy's reading me his story. It's not just a book about his life, but I feel like he's reading it to me, and I think that was something that's an art. So it was fun to do. It was exhausting, right? But it's all out there now, so yeah, there wasn't a lot held back. It was some of the painful stuff that you didn't want to pull back out of the closet. You had to, but that's it.
Was there, when it was all said and done, Mary, Randy, did it feel like a weight of life had just been lifted off of you when you were able to get that book out there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, because he did, he lived a lot of life. And he did a lot of good, and he would be the first to tell you he did a lot of bad when he was young. But those are the things that he overcame, and that's where he wants to be an inspiration and an encouragement to young kids that are having a hard time finding their way. You can still do it. You know, don't ever give up. Yeah. Not as a youngster, and not after going through a stroke. Just don't ever give up.
And that's a message we need, Randy and Mary, now more than ever. So thank y'all for that gift.
Thank you.
Well, and you know what's exciting is the fact that regardless, it shows people that life is life. We all put our legs in our pants one leg at a time. And it's those memories, it's those moments in life that we use to define a message to other people. And the message from Randy is, whether it was good, bad, or indifferent in my life, you can overcome. But you've got to be willing to make that fight. Right. And that's what I get from the book is you got to make that fight. And if you're willing to do that, then life will go your way. And so I love it. If you'll bring it up, Charles, it's Forever and Ever, Amen. And Randy Travis with Ken Abraham. And and I've started reading the book. So I've got places in the house I read. And so this book is at the table in the morning when I get my coffee. Good. And I start to read. And that's how I get started in the morning. And so thank you for writing that and putting that out there. I mean, just what a miracle that is. And so thank you for that. You know, another miracle, of course, is your voice. And you released a song in 2020.
Right.
And it's a beautiful song. And with your permission, I would like to be able to play that song. All right. So we're going to play. This is Fool's Love Affair by Randy Travis.
The phone rings twice, then it's through. I don't even have to answer, I know it's you. Yes, I'll meet you for the one thing we share. Our once a week fool's love affair. Same old motel, the same old room, same old lines we know can't come true. It's just pretending, but the guilt's always there. It's just a once a week fool's love affair. It's a fool's love affair, and we're both aware it's a game and nobody wins. We can't reveal just keep it this way till it ends. We hold each other and then say goodbye. It seems we ought to, but nobody cries. We're two people with nothing to share, but our once a week fool's love affair. It's just a once a week fool's love affair.
So, first of all, what a blessing to have another Randy Travis song. I love that. What was the inspiration to release this song now?
Well, that song was recorded in 1984 before he even had was with Warner. And he was just kind of new in Nashville, and he was doing demos. So Charlie Monk, who's considered the mayor of Music Row, kind of self-titled himself that, but everybody believed it, so that's what he is. And Charlie Monk is just a real outgoing, congenial, sweet. I mean, he's just a sweetheart of a man. And he had Randy do this this demo that Milton Brown and Keith Stegall and Charlie had written. And like I said, Randy was still cooking at the Nashville Palace, but he was doing demos, as so many young artists do when they get to Nashville, just to survive. And so that one went on into a shelf that Charlie never visited again for a long time. And he found the demo about 3 years ago. And he called and he said, I found this demo to Fool's Love Affair, and he sent it to us. He said, does Randy remember it? And Randy said, yeah, I remember it. I don't remember when I cut it, but I do remember. So Charlie said, well, I want to take it to Kyle Lenning. He took it to Kyle Lenning, who was Randy's longtime producer, and said, what can you do with it? He said, well, I need the masters. I need the multi-tracks to be able to, to make it into something we could put on radio. And, well, Charlie said, I can't find them. So for a year and a half, he looked for him, couldn't find him. And about a year and a half ago, he kicked over a box that he was fixing to send to the Hall of Fame in the archives.
Right.
And out fell this master of Fool's Love Affair. He said he got so excited. He called us. He called Kyle. And that's where it all came from. He believed in it. Kyle enjoyed it. Randy, it was just one of those things. He said, I knew that it was a God wink.
Right.
And that it was supposed to see the light of day, or I never would have found it. So
I'll be darned.
It was just,
what are the odds?
What are the odds? And it's just nice to hear his voice on the radio again.
Well,
so.
you know what's nice about it is it's not in our time.
No,
it's in God's time.
It is in God's time.
And this is when it was supposed to come out. And boy, Lord knows we need some love.
Yeah.
Boy, right now, that's for sure. We sure are struggling in that as a country. So what a great time for the song to come out. Well, Kathy, what a blessing to have both of them in today.
Like I said, I'm a fangirl. I'm sorry we were crazy when we first walked. I was like, it's Randy Travis. I mean, if you would have told, 25-year-old Kathy she'd be sitting across the table from Randy Travis as 53-year-old Kathy, I would have never believed you. But I'm so grateful to have this opportunity. And thank you so much for your music and for your God-given talents and for not giving up on life.
Thank you.
Well, also go to the randytravisfoundation.org. Make an appointment. Let's get the education out there. And like I say, Kathy and I may have to make a few phone calls. We may have to make a trip down to Austin and visit with Governor Abbott and see what we can do about doing something like that here in Texas. And so we definitely want to make sure that information gets out. That's important information. You could save another girlfriend, another wife, the trouble, and say, you don't give up. There's a way to fight back.
That's right.
And if he believes in it, then it can happen. And so it's amazing. And so thank you so much. I want to take us out because, again, it's my favorite. Sorry. America will always stand. Want to take us out of the show today. Have a blessed weekend, the crew. I hope you've enjoyed this as much as we have enjoyed this. Randy and Mary, thank you so much for taking the time to swim from your ranch in Tioga.
Thank you for having us. We really enjoyed it. And we just want to go out and tell everybody to keep smiling. Find something to laugh about every day. Where there's darkness, bring light. And wherever you go, be a blessing.
And the two of you certainly are a blessing. Thank y'all.
Thank you. All right, and here we go. We're going to take it out with my favorite. This truly has become my favorite Randy Travis song.
She stands in the face of evil and will not lose hope or faith. America, the land of freedom, is still the home of the brave. So raise the banner called Old Glory. Let us join our fellow man. History will write the story. America will always stand.
Will you sing a song for my wedding?
Well, I didn't really come to sing.
Please.
Well, I might. You may think that I'm talking foolish. You've heard that I'm wild and I'm free. You may wonder how I can promise you now this love that I feel for you always will be. But you're not just time that I'm killing. I'm no longer one of those guys. As sure as I live, this love that